following is a demonstration about adding sources in Semantic eDiscovery platform. We'll click on All Collections, then click on Sources. To add a new source, in the bottom right, we'll click on Add. We'll add a file share source first. Give the source a name and the appropriate description. So this is server 4 file server, files on server 4. Select the source type from the drop-down. In this case, we are selecting a file share. We will select the source account which will be used to access this file share, which we already created in a separate demonstration. We'll select N Kapoor. We'll select the location of the file share. In our case, it's on server 4, so we'll type server 4 and then click Go. And we'll select FSA_files. We can also test the connection by clicking on Test button. In this case, the connection has succeeded. And then you can click on Save to save this source. We are going to add another source now. Click Add. This is also a file share source which contains PST files. So we'll name it server 4 PST file server. From the drop-down, we'll still select file share as a source. We'll type the description. We will use the source account to access that file share. We'll type the location or browse to that location, which is on server 4. Select PST files, click OK. And then click Save. Now we're going to add the third file source. This time we'll add Exchange Server as a source, server 4 Exchange Server. We'll type the description. From the drop-down, we'll select Exchange as the source type. We'll select the source account who has access to or permissions on Exchange. In this case, it's dparmer. Those permissions has to be specified separately in Active Directory. Then click Save. Let's add another one. This time we will add SharePoint server as a source. So SharePoint is running on server 2, so server 2 SharePoint server, and then type the description. The source type will be SharePoint from the drop-down. We'll select the appropriate source account who has permissions to SharePoint server. In this case, dparmer again. We will specify the location for the SharePoint site, which is HTTP server 3, server 2, :2000 sites and Damascorp. You can test the connection, and that connection succeeded. Click OK. and then you can click on Save to save this source. And lastly, we will add Enterprise Vault source. So server 2, Enterprise Vault server, type appropriate description. Select the type of the source, which will be Enterprise Vault. And we'll select the site. The discovery has already been performed for Enterprise Vault. We'll select the archive type, which could be general mailbox archive or user mailbox archive. In this case, we'll select mailbox archives. And we'll also select the source account, which has permissions to Enterprise Vault archives. In this case, we have added a service account, ev_service, as the source account. Select that, and then at the bottom, click Save to save this source. So now we can see all the sources are added: file share, Exchange, SharePoint, Enterprise Vault, and we can use those in collection tasks. Now we're going to go to System, go to Users, and then go to Access Groups. And if you have an access group, we'll make sure those sources are part of that access group. So in this case, Legal 1 Manager Access Group. We're going to go to Sources tab, and we'll make sure all those sources are part of this group. And then click Save Group. So this concludes our demonstration about adding sources in Symantec eDiscovery platform.